Wait a minute, y'all.
Tonya like to share and Tonya like to share and
The boy done switched up on you.
Tonya like to share and Tonya like to share and Tonya like to
lying to
share
me.
and
And I know you lying.
Tonya like to share and
Period. Wait a minute, y'all. You guys look. If this is your very first time to this channel, run that subscribe for us. And after you subscribe, make sure that you hit that notification bell beside the word subscribe so that you will be notified each and every time that we upload a video. And then welcome to this great family. Now that you're part of us, there's some things that we do. And we do them every day because they help us grow. Those things are comment, like the sharing, go check for the team. Comment, like the sharing, go check for the team. Comment, like, and share, and don't forget to comment, like, and share. Comment, like, and share. Comment, like, and share. Don't forget to comment, like, and share. Comment, like, and share. Comment, like, and share. Don't forget to comment, like, and share. Okay, you guys, check out. We go ahead and pray. We're gonna get into the goodness. Here we go. Amen. How y'all doing today? Y'all, today we got churches. Churches chicken. That's what we got, y'all. It's a tad bit warm in here, y'all. Just a tad bit. But anyway, we got church's chicken. So over here to the side. Let me see, have we already prayed? Yeah, we already prayed. So over here to the side. Look, the beans in the building, y'all. There you go. The beans in the building, y'all. There you go. Let's keep it for fresh. He is. You guys, Lil Ben has nothing in him but nice cold H2O. That's what he got. Also over here, if you want to buy your LIPS hot sauce, look way up top of the screen, watch some blue. Hit that link, and right there you can get your LIPS hot sauce. And your lips burnt. Okay, you guys, today I'm going to be using Frank's. That's what we got today. That's what I got a taste for. But yeah, today for the food, baby. We got dark meat. We got some church's chicken here. We got some biscuits. I was supposed to have corn on the cob, I think, but we got macaroni and cheese, and we have got the fried okra. That's what we got. That's what we got, y'all. That's what we're working with. Let me pull this here out. My okra here, y'all. Gucci, get back. He just be waiting on somebody to drop some, honey. Uh-oh, and then I did drop some. Come here, put some. I dropped the okra over here on this side over here. Y'all, we got the macaroni and cheese. You know, theirs always had like a little burn in it. You know, put me a little sugar in it. And I ain't gonna drop nothing else. And Gucci be thinking he gonna get something, ain't gonna get nothing. And then just drop some macaroni and cheese. Pull saying, can you come get this macaroni and cheese and one piece of okra so that Gucci don't get it? This macaroni and cheese kind of thick. Ooh, but let's see. I put me a little sugar up in it. There you go. It always have they macaroni and cheese always have a little burn to it. But I didn't want macaroni and cheese. I want corn. So I ain't gonna eat that, y'all. I ain't gonna eat that. I put the top back on that. And then put some ketchup over here for our okra. Instead, in this up put spot.
You do know it's packing some ketchup in there, right?
But there's a macaroni and cheese right there and the okra here on this side of him.
Here's some cheese droppers over and over again.
I'm trying to.
You said you wasn't. And it's an okra right here.
Y'all, I love that fried okra. It's like for real. Like, they fried okra just bomb. I got my pink salt here too, y'all.
Where?
Get out my video. My bad, y'all. Pooh stuck off in the video. I ain't got no clothes in her big clothes and stuff, honey. I'm about to get chopped in the throat. But I'm gonna cut that out anyway. Anyway, y'all. How y'all doing today? How's y'all doing, honey? Okay, here we go. Oh, put some Franks on him. I threw hot sauce all the way across the table, y'all. Just all right. There we go. Right there. I have tasted that for that Frank. I didn't know what I was gonna do Franks to Texas Pete. That's good. I love me some churches. Chicken, honey. Yes, I do. Come on out there. I'm running a little bit behind today because when I woke up, y'all being lazy. I'll be lazy, y'all. I really was. It was nice and cozy in the house. It was high 30s. I think somewhere around 36, 37, maybe even 38 degrees when I first woke up. So with the heat on and up under the cover, it was just so cozy. It was just so cozy. So I didn't want to get up. That's what I really love about the wintertime. I'm so jealous. The people up north, the people up north, even in Texas, got some, but the people up north got 7, 8 inches of snow. Oh, where I was at, where it's at, y'all, I love when snow comes, especially when it's a lot of it. I love it. I really do. Like, I remember one year we was in Memphis. It happened 2 years, but 1 year specifically when we was in Memphis. Y'all, we had so much snow. It was built up like inches, like this thick off the ground. Oh, I loved it. I just love it. It's something about when it's enough snow on the ground, you know, for the schools to shut down. And I ain't talking about just shut down like today and gone tomorrow. Like, I love it when everything's shut down. Like, it be shut down on 3-4 days a week. I love it. I do. It is something to me. I love snow, first of all, but it is something about, like, when the kids are out of school, there's snow on the ground, you know, and the kids be outside, you know, after they've been locked in a day or two, they get rested, you know. And they get outside and they're playing around in the snow or, you know, around the ice and stuff like that. That is just such an endearing thing for me. It just is. I just love that. I just do. Y'all put some of that Cajun seasoning on there. See how red did right there? With this hot and spicy chicken anyway, but it's just something about that particular scene that is just euphoric for me for some reason. I love me a good set-in, honey. Yes, I do. I really do. But we didn't get it. I talked to Queen Ronnie this morning, or last night, sometime or another, here recently, and she said they got 8 inches. I'm so jelly. I'm so jelly, honey. I'm jelly. This chicken's so juicy. I'm so jelly. Y'all like their biscuits? I'm jelly, y'all. I want some snow. I want a lot, though. 7 inches of snow. Atlanta was shut down for over a week. For real. Especially if the temperature was, down low. In like the 20s and stuff where it wouldn't freeze. Baby. Atlanta was shut down for a week, honey. I know they would. Because, we're not prepared to deal with that type of weather. Because it doesn't happen here like that much. But I would love it. I would. I would love it. I would. Winter is my favorite time of the year. My favorite time of the year anyway. So how y'all weather? I know some of y'all got some snow. Because even back home, my brother and them, they got some sleet, snow, wintry mix. I don't know. I hadn't talked to them today, so I don't know how much they got and if it's stuck or not. But at least they got some, baby. We can get a drop. Not a drop at them. Nothing. Temperature just went down a little bit. I ain't below freezing. Oh well. I'm still thankful, that at least it cooled down because we don't have like a few cold little spurts. We ain't had well, I take it back. It has been cold this winter. It just won't stay cold. It get cold and then you have a break in it where it's like 2 or 3 days where it's warm. Whatever. But anyhow, how y'all doing today? How y'all doing? How y'all doing? We are doing magnificent. I am. I'm starting season 15 of RuPaul's Drag Race today. It's got like 5 or 6 episodes already there. I'm starting it today. So I have something to do. Because even though I like when it's cold, I really don't like outside tramping around in it when it's cold. Especially if I gotta have a coat. Light jacket, I'm cool with. Pull over, I'm cool with. But if I gotta have on my heavy coat, I'd rather stay in the house. That bitch forgot to fall apart. What y'all having with me today? I know some of y'all eating. I know a lot of y'all told me, y'all wait till I post the video. To eat your meal. So you have somebody to eat with you. Here I go. Hey, here I go. Y'all, I'm gonna tell y'all something. Remember I've been telling y'all, I've been watching BMF, right? I'm gonna tell y'all something. For some reason, ever since I started watching it, I have been seeing the young boy, the older brother, the light-skinned one, I kept singing, he looked familiar to me. I kept saying that. I kept saying, he looks familiar. Like, why is this, then I kept saying, well, maybe the acting itself. I kept saying, well, maybe he done acted in other stuff that I done seen. But it seemed like my familiarity with him was older. Or they're like, I've been knowing him for a while. And I was like, hold on. He's too young for me to have been done, you know, to have known him from, you know, being in movies in the 90s or early 2000s. You know, looking more about 25, 26 years old. But he was just so familiar to me. He was. Y'all. I kept seeing, after every scene, oh yeah, they kept saying that it was based on a true story, right? It still didn't click to me why I should know this young man. So last night, because it was so good, like another episode, it comes on Friday night. So last night, I went over there to watch a new episode that came out last night. And when it went on, it brought me to like the real life documentary of BMF. Y'all, that movie, the series BMF, and I know some of y'all finna say, but I didn't connect the two. That series BMF is about Big Meech. Big Meech! I know Big Meech. And I found out last night the reason why he's so familiar to me is that that's his son. Like his Big Meech's real son. Oh, yo. Why didn't nobody tell me that that's the story of Big Meech? And his brother Terry. See, I don't know why I didn't connect the two, but I didn't. Y'all. That is the story of Big Meech. BMF. BMF Entertainment. You know, y'all remember back in the day, when them boys. Well, I started knowing about Big Meech was when Outkast. I used to love Outkast. When they first started getting big and got popular and winning awards and stuff, that's when I got familiar with Big Meech, because Big Meech was in the mix then. Y'all, I did not put it together until last night. I put it together last night. Well, I didn't put it together. But when I saw the real documentary with the real people in it, where Big Meech is talking from prison, I knew then what it was. Big Meech, what up, though? What up, though, Big Meech? Hey. I definitely remember Big Meech. He was trying to have a record label, or had a record label, BMF Entertainment. Big Meech. Oh. Yep. I remember when Big Meech went to jail. Him and Terry. I remember it. I didn't know much about Terry though, to be honest. And the only reason why I really knew anything about Terry, to be honest with you, is when they went to jail. You know, it was on the news and stuff, and I knew he had a brother named Terry that was charged with the same thing he was charged with, basically. But yeah, that's Big Meech. Y'all, I'm telling you, I didn't get it. I didn't put it together. I didn't. I think the reason why I didn't put it together was because I didn't know anything about Big Meech being like the black mafia family. I knew BMF Entertainment, and I did not know that the background of Big Meech, because when I started seeing him, and him being on the scene, it was dance around, partying, you know, like hip hop artists, you know. I didn't know anything about the backstory of him being the biggest, basically, black drug cartel, whatever you want to say, in the history of the United States. I didn't know that. I did not know it, y'all. I didn't. I didn't know anything about the backstory until when they got caught and went to jail. You know, being a lot younger. You know, so that's been, what, 18, 20 years ago? Oh, yeah, because he got 30 years. And after researching last night, he's supposed to be out in 2028. Terry is already out. They let him out when COVID hit in 2020. So anyway, to make a long story short, that was in the early, like 2004, 2005 when that happened. I remember when it happened, when he went to jail. But I still didn't know it was because of a, you know, big criminal enterprise like that. I just thought he was another rapper that got caught up, you know whatever he was doing. But yeah, that's Big Meech, man. They still got Big Meech's name in songs today, rap songs. Did y'all see that? Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. I had a bone stuck up in my paper towel. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Some of that red dust that I put on that chicken, it done found its way in my eye over here too. But yeah, that's Big Meech from BML. I didn't get it, y'all. But anyhow, y'all, today is a lovely day. Right now, it's about, I think, 41 degrees outside. The sun is up high and pretty low. I just wish we could have got some of that weather. I really do. I wish we could have got some of that weather. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with me. I don't. I'm spinning water, staining stuff and everything. I done put sauce in my eyes. I done swung hot sauce all across the table. Doing too much. But anyway, y'all, I hope that you all are having a beautiful, beautiful day. I really do. I hope that you're having a beautiful day. I hope that you all are feeling loved and blessed. And I hope you got some weather and it's cozy where you are. I love when it's really, really cold outside, like really cold, like in the teens or the single digits. I take -2 if you want me to. And especially when it's snow on the ground. You know, when it's so cold outside, even though you have the heat on and it's warm in the house, you still need a cover that kind of take that nip out the air. So I love that. So if you're getting that right now, I'm jelly. Very jelly. I'm jelly, y'all. If you got that kind of weather, I'm jelly. Y'all don't forget to continue to be praying for the world. Continue to be praying for the world. Continue to be praying for the world, y'all. Last night I watched Tyree's funeral. Reverend Al Sharpton officiated. 2 hours long. I watched it on YouTube. They streamed it on YouTube. Or somebody did. There is some things, you know, that have happened in my lifetime that will be history, you know, for the future generations. Not just all, well, in order to make history, it's got to be something awful good, awful bad, you know. So, you know, but I just think about the things that have happened in my lifespan that will be known throughout history. Like the big ice storm that we lived through in, was it 1993, somewhere in there? That freak ice storm that hit the world. You know, Hurricane Katrina, Harvey, happened in my lifespan. You know, COVID, probably, other than Hurricane Katrina, is probably one of the biggest things that have happened in my lifespan as far as catastrophes, you know. Of course, Rodney King was in my lifespan. Now Tyree, George Floyd, Breonna Taylor, you know, just so many things that has happened in my lifespan. Because y'all know something, God is not going to allow, well, I'm not going to say he's not going to allow. I'm going to say I pray that at some point in time, I mean, if you think about it, it's got to be, y'all. At some point in time, will it take another, I think 10 years is not long enough. But if it takes another 30 years, it's possible in 25, 30 years. It is. In another 25 or 30 years, it's possible for racism and bigotry and police brutality. It's possible for these things to be bred away in the next 25 years. It is. It's possible. And the thing about it is that a lot of people don't realize that a lot of these things that we're going through as a society, they're changed through each and every one of us. All of it didn't get right in our generation, obviously because it's still here. But if you are raising your child, think about it, if everybody in the world that is spawning children right now, that are rearing children right now, if everybody in the world was to change their thinking about how they raise children and change the morals that they put in children, because bigotry, racism, you know, those type of things that are learned behaviors from children, from adults. Children don't come out the womb and say, I just hate this group of people. They don't come out the womb and just say, I want to get older and become a police officer and violate people's rights. That doesn't happen. That happens over the influences that they have as they're being reared, as they're becoming an adult. You know what I'm saying? Your influence of your upbringing of children and what you allow them to be exposed to in their environment, that has a lot to do with how they become, or what they become, or whom they become. So if everybody was to get it together right now, y'all there go Pusek again being rude in the video. Put stuff in the trash can, all of that, which she could have just waited till I got through. She said I'm winding it down and everything. But anyway, what I'm trying to say is, y'all, if we all start today, or if this generation all started together to make sure that we're right and that we're putting the forecast and the right influences over the children that are coming along today, 25 years from now, a lot of this stuff won't be here. It won't. It could be bred away. But it takes each and every one of us to make it happen. It really does. That includes you. You may not be raising children, and you might not have any children at home with you, but that doesn't mean that the neighbor's children aren't watching you. That doesn't mean that it doesn't take you on a daily basis getting on your knees or in your prayer closet or putting your hands together and putting down your prayers for the world in order to change these things. Because the world still needs that. It needs each and every one of us to pull together as a whole. As a whole. You know, the Bible says that it's easy for the devil to, because he has the power of suggestion. It's easy for the devil to get in trick one mind. It's easy. Even if the mind is strong, it's easy for him because he ain't got one mind to try to subdue. And he don't never quit. He just go on until that mind will break and he gets what he wants. But collectively together, just like the Bible said, where there's two or more, God is in the midst. Well, if you got collectively together, then when the devil do come with all these crazy stuff that you put in your head and all these crazy thoughts and all these biases and bigots and all that, if you together, if you standing together and God is in the midst and God can fight the devil, well, you can stay strong on your own. You see what I'm saying? It takes all of us to make these things different for the next generation. And it may not happen in the next generation. But if we done taught the next generation a little better, and we stay prayed up, and we keep praying, and we keep praying, and we keep praying, and then the next generation is a little bit better, and they continue to pray 25 years, y'all. You know what I mean? Now, our generation behind us is too late, because we already too old. But if we start implementing right now, today, different things, different structures, different beliefs, as a people, you know what I mean? As a people, 25, 30 years from now, this world can be so much a better place. I hope and pray that I live long enough to be able to say to my grandkids, back in my day, you couldn't do that. Back in my day, it wasn't that way. Back in my day, you know, things didn't go that way. Back in my day, things were so much, you know, even though times are so much better now, can you imagine what a world it would be as progressive as we have got and as much as we have came, or as far as we have came and made leaps and bounds from the slavery days? So can you imagine if what we're going through today would be like slavery days to them 30, 40 years from now? Wouldn't that be a blessing? That what we're going through today is so harsh for what it will be 30, 40 years from now, that what we're going through today will still seem like modern slavery? Can you imagine what a world that would be? Anyway, y'all gotta get up out of here. I'm gonna go. I love you, I love you, I love you. Tom, my newly Jan. I thank you guys so much for being here. I truly appreciate each and every one of you, because you didn't have to be here. You could have chosen to be anywhere else in the world, but you chose to be right here with us, and we love you for it. Tom, back to Silly Jan. Round and round we go, round and round we go. I love you guys so much, and I'm gonna see you guys next time, okay? Oh, wait a minute, y'all. You guys look, always remember that there's always more than one way home. All you set out to do is get there. So get there, people. Get there. I love you all. And I'm going to see you guys next time. And if you're ready to watch me next time, you have lied to me. And I know you lied. Period. Bye-bye. All right, y'all ain't going to do no more talking. But think about what I said. Do your part. Stay prayed up. Keep your family prayed up. Make sure that you keep yourself in a disposition to where not only your children and the people that you are raising, nieces and nephews, but that even your neighbor's child watches you or is looking at you, that child is going to be a better child from seeing the examples that you made, okay? Now, I'm out of here. Bye. Wait a minute, y'all.
Comment, like, and share, and comment. Comment, like, and share, and
The boy done switched up on you.
comment, like, and share, and comment. Comment, like, and share, and comment. Comment, like,
A
and
lying to
share,
me.
and comment.
And I know you lying.
Comment, like, and share, and comment.
Wait a minute, y'all. Yes, look. If this is your very first time on this channel, run over and subscribe for us. And after you subscribe, make sure that you hit that notification bell. It's beside the word subscribe, so that you'll be notified each and every time that we upload a video. And then welcome to this great family. None of your part, but there's some things that we do. And we do them every day because they help us grow. Those things are comment like and share, and go on, take for the team. Comment like and share, and go on, take for the team. Comment like and share, and don't forget to comment like and share. Comment like and share. Comment like and share. Don't forget to comment like and share. Comment like and share. Comment like and share. Don't forget to comment like and share. Okay, guys, check this out. We're going to pray. We're going to get to the goodness. Here we go. Amen. How y'all doing today? How y'all doing today? How y'all doing today? Over here on the side, Big Ben is in the building, baby. Big Ben is here. Big Ben is here to help us out because we've been to get to eat. Let's see if he's not refreshing. He is. You guys, Big Ben has nothing in him but nice cold H2O. Also, over the side, I got my lip tight sauce. If you like your bottle, look way up top, subscribe to blue. Hit that link, and right there, you can get your lip tight sauce. And your lips merge. Okay, you got today for the food. Baby, we got Sunday dinner. Over here, we've got some French style green beans and iced potatoes over here. Here we have some chicken and dressing. We got some baked homemade macaroni and cheese. And over here we got some fried chicken. That's what we got, y'all. And we got some white onion over here too. Let's get to eating. Let's get to eating, honey. Ooh, come through. It's a little hot there. Let's get to eating, y'all. It's got bacon and green beans, iced potatoes. Y'all, I'm gonna have some greens, but I decided I didn't want no green. I wanted something green. But I didn't want greens. The mac and cheese is hot. All this food hot, honey. Y'all know about the y'all know about the mac and cheese? It's hot. Sunday dinner. Sunday dinner, y'all. Take me back, y'all, to the traditions, you know. What we've done, why we've done it, why we do it, da-da-da-da-da-da. Family togetherness, you know. Y'all want some of the dressing? It's so moist. Jesus, take the wheel. Y'all dressing some more. Yep. So what are y'all doing today? How you doing? And what is you doing? So I'm gonna put a little white on up here with these greens. I mean with these green beans. So let me tell y'all this. We are sitting around the house at home. Of course, we all know, like I've reminded you. That is Black History Month. So we're sitting around at home, y'all, and we have started the original version, the 1977 series of Roots. We have, as production had to remind me because, you know, I've watched Roots many, many times, all the different versions, the older version, the newer version. I like them both, but I prefer the older version. I do. Y'all piece of chicken, fried chicken, get up on the pretty side. Y'all piece of fried chicken. Me, myself, and I prefer the older version, y'all. Let me put y'all some hot sauce on it. There you go. Get your bite. Get your bite. Hot. I prefer the original. I watch any of them. I will. But I prefer the original. Which is the one that we're watching. And I'm telling you, I just get a sense of pride and a sense of joy when it first comes on. You know, that first thing with Cicely Tyson. You know, Maya Angelou. You know, that first thing, once you having that baby, when it first come on, I automatically just get a sense of pride. I do. A sense of, I know what's to come, you know. You know. Like I said, Hussein, this will be her first time watching Roots, because now she's old enough to understand what's going on. You know, my pink sock, y'all. So with that being said, this time watching it means a lot more to me. You know, because like I told you guys before, it is important for us to teach our children about Black history. Not just during February, but especially during February, because today is the month, the shortest month of the year, of course. that have been dedicated to African American history. You know. That's hot. And we've got to stay vigilant, y'all. Now, making sure that we are just as devoted to making sure that our children, and I'm talking about our races, you know, that our children know about African American Black history. Because there's always going to come along a person or people or faction or whatever you want to call it that is going to not feel like like the history, excuse me, y'all, and the truth of not only the history, but the contribution to, you know, the world that African Americans, that Black people have brought to the table. You know, you have to be careful. You have to watch what's going on in the world. Of course, I think that we all should know, and by now for sure, you know, what is going on or what has went on in the process of going on and things so over there in Florida. We can't be talking no names and stuff, because y'all know YouTube will flag certain things. I ain't gonna take no chances because for one, I mean, whatever person believes and how they believe and that's all on them. You know, you can't change a person's mind about how they think, you know, what they think, how they think. And on what importance that they lay to anything in life. But I do know this for sure. To remove any lesson, to remove any mention or not to teach anything in Black history or in American history that has to do with racism or slavery. Actually, I think it's racism and oppression is the way it is put. You're not teaching Black history. And for that fact, you're not teaching American history. You're not. No matter how unpleasant it may feel, it may look, or it may seem, you cannot erase what has happened. No matter how you try. You cannot erase the stain of those hundreds of years of slavery and oppression and racism that happened in this country. You cannot erase that. You can't. You just can't erase that. And for a politician to feel like that it's okay, or if they have a right, or if they have the power to even try to diminish what so many of us hold so sacred to us for our own history, you know, in my opinion, just ain't right. It's just not. It's just not. I understand that politicians or people, you know, of modern day. I understand that they weren't there. They didn't commit those crimes. I get that. I get that you didn't do it, sir, or ma'am, or whoever. But there's still issues and problems and things that are being fought still today that piggyback on the backs of what happened there. You know? It is. Y'all, like I said, as parents, as people, it's our obligation, or should be, you should feel a sense of obligation to make sure that your child knows African American or Black history, no matter what race you are. You should. You should. Because it teaches you, you know, the character of people. It really does. You know, it teaches you the character of people. You know, it really does. And if not watched and kept in check, like I said, there's things that still going on in this world today. That remind us quite often, and at times, that even though we have constantly broke down walls and constantly won battles and made life immensely better as a people and as a country as of today, but racism and oppression is still here. It's still here. You know, it is tried to be, or it is being masked, you know, somewhat better, you know, because now that we are, you know, truly free and fighting for equality across the board, whether it be Black people or women or, you know what I'm saying, LGBTQ or, you know, all that kind of stuff, you know. But you're talking about trying to overshadow the times when you didn't even think that a person, a human, was a human. They had the basic rights to be able to, you know, govern their own movement. The ability to get married. The ability to vote. You know what I mean? And like I said, a lot of people, just because of the, a lot of people don't know the subtle things about how every facet of slavery was thought about. You know what I mean? Kind of like, to the simple effect of marriage is something that's a vow, that's a communion, that is a joining of two people, you know, before God, you know, and quote unquote Christian people at this time. That's why Black people were not allowed to get married. You know what I'm saying? Because as a Christian person, quote unquote, what you're saying is the reasoning why, or that God condones slavery and all this different kind of stuff. But as a Christian person, if you allow two people to marry before God, that means you couldn't sell them off. You couldn't separate them. You see what I'm saying? If they were married, you couldn't sell the wife away from the husband. You catch my drill? So that's the reason why Black people weren't allowed to be married back in them days. Because you still want to kind of line up with the world that your country is above reproach. You know what I'm saying? I just think of how it took a lot of gruesome things on the world stage, y'all. I'm not talking about here locally. It's something that happened in the deep south and the federal government knew about it. I'm talking about it took a lot of gruesome things on the world stage for the United States to change. But now, you want to erase it. You can't. You can't. You know, and the thing about it is that I think that not only to try to erase or overshadow Black history for the gruesome things that were done to a certain group of people or my ancestral people, I think for me, it's even more of a hurting matter or even more of a traumatic thing in my own head. Not necessarily to not teach the oppression and the slavery and the racism. I think it's more of a fix to me to overshadow the accomplishments of African Americans. For me. I'm just saying for me, y'all. I'm not saying it's not important for my daughter because we're watching Roots. I'm not saying, and you know, and we're teaching on Black history. And every time I get to these programs, she say, I know. She said today. I said, well, I have to make sure that you understand, you know, how our people, how our ancestors, how Black people were treated. She said, well, I know. You know, because in production, I have always tried to make sure that she understood where she came from. That she understood why it's important for her to make good grades and, you know, to be a step ahead of her counterpart, regardless of how the world is today, regardless of, you know, how well we have it today, and she should have it when her generation becomes the leaders of the world. You never forget what you were taught, what I was taught when I was a child. Because I always taught you got to be one step ahead. You got to be a little bit faster, a little bit smarter. You know, your wits have got to come to you a little bit quicker. You know, just to make sure that you keep yourself together. You know what I mean? So, we have to make sure that she understands Black history. That's why it's so important. Because not to understand what has happened to us as a people doesn't give them the correct focus as to where we're trying to go. You know what I'm saying? Sure, a whole lot of people in the world felt like the day that we got a Black president, baby, yeah, we done it. No, we ain't. No, we ain't. You know, yes, it has, you know, shown that it is possible. You know what I'm saying? But what I'm saying is that you have to make sure that our children know where we came from, the struggle that it took to get us where we are, so that they keep their claws dug in, moving the needle a little bit more and a little bit more and a little bit more. You know what I'm saying? To where things like George Floyd don't happen. You know? To where things like, I don't need to name them, y'all know the situation. We got to move the needle a little bit more. That's how we got to where we are today. Each generation moved the needle a little bit more. They moved a little bit more. Sometimes they had to move it sideways to scratch the record, to come around a little bit, to get back to the middle, to go a little bit further. But they moved it every generation. Since back then in the 18th century, they moved the needle a little bit more. I think we have a job, we have an obligation to teach our children to keep the needle moving. To keep the needle moving. Really do. That's why Black history is so important. It's so important. You know, and a lot of people say, well, things are better now, Well, they may be. They just may be. That could be right. But at the same time, even though I'm sure all people talk to their children how to conduct themselves when it comes to interactions with the law and stuff like that. But what I can tell you here, the pressures of a black parent, an African American parent, in this day and time, whether you have a female or a male, especially if you have a male, but whether you have a female or a male, your pressures, as if you are a part of another culture, are not the same. They're just not the same. What we have to teach our children as a whole, how to deal with certain situations in life. It don't necessarily have to be the law. It can be anything. We still have to teach our children, how to conduct themselves in public. They can't just grow up and be, they can grow up and be a child. What I'm saying, there's extra lessons that our children have to have. There's extra, we got to get them a little extra oomph. You know what I mean? To make sure that they do well in life. Or we have to give them a little extra oomph to try to make sure that they understand what it takes to succeed and move the needle a little bit more. Y'all say woke about what's going on in the world now, for real. I tell y'all that all the time. This fight for equality and justice is not over. It's not. And that's why it's important that you take it as an obligation to make sure your child is educated about what went on back then. Because what's going on in Florida could end up going on in all 51 states that are under this umbrella that they call the United States of America. It could. Where our history is watered down. They take the racism, they take the oppression part out of it, and it gets watered down so that maybe eventually it'll be bred away. Or that the conscious minds of people won't think about it. Well, you, as a parent, have to make sure that that doesn't happen. It doesn't matter what race you are. I'm speaking in the terms of the African American race because I am black. I am African American. But all other cultures, it should be important to you as well to make sure that your children know this and they understand what went on back there as well. You know what I mean? It should also be important to you to make sure that your child knows so that they can be a better person too. Because it's your children that are going to replace. You see what I'm saying? It's all about pushing the needle no matter which race that you are. Because one thing we know for sure in this country here, and I love my country now. I love my country. But one thing we know for sure is in this country here, in the United States of America, the United States of America have had its chance and had its go at more than just the black vote. They just did us the worst. You know what I'm saying? You know? They just did us the worst. But they have had times when they did things that are unsightly, unspoken of, that are true, you know, toward Hispanics, you know. Just look into the history. When you go looking into black history, look into the history of the Americas, period. See how railroads were built. See how this kind of stuff went on, you know. There is not one structure in the United States of America from the olden days that were built to symbolize freedom and equality for all that was not built by slaves. People who didn't have freedom or equality. You know what I'm saying? Dig into the history and see what happened with the Asian people. See what happened with the Hispanic people. You know what I'm saying? Dig into American history while you're digging into black history. Because it all should fall along together, and you'll see. The United States have done a lot of things. This country here has done a lot of things to where they brought people over here or allowed people to come over here. And this, that, and the third, and, you know, got them over here and let them know what they want them to do, and then they want them gone. That's what they did to the other race. They just kept us because they want over there and shipped us from Africa. You know, when we came in and started breeding, they started breeding us. You know, once they disallowed them from going over there and catching people and bringing them back in ships, now they made breeding farms so they could just keep this going generation after generation after generation after generation. You know, there's a lot about the structure of life that our children need to know. Our children need to understand that you're not less than because you have less. You know what I mean? Actually, to be honest with you, you should hold yourself in regard that you can be equal because of where you came from, because it was designed for you to be less your entire life. Our race was designed to be less. If the Southern people hadn't have been made to change, or people, period, hadn't been made to change by law what was going on, trust and believe there wouldn't be an equal playing field today. If some of those people back there still had their way, because they said it was going to be for now, it was yesterday, it's going to be for now, and it's going to be forever, tomorrow and forever. That's what they felt. You know what I'm saying? So it was never meant for you to be equal. You were never on the same playing curve. So a lot of people say, well, da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Well, the wealth of this race was built off of the oppression of this one. So therefore, you know what I'm saying, it's been, you just push the needle a little bit more, a little bit more, a little bit more, whereas it was built for generational wealth for one race off the backs of another one. It was purposely meant for another race to have generational poverty. So you got to push the needle more and more and more and more and more and more and more until you finally get it to where, because one day it will be there. It may not be in my lifespan, and it may not be in yours, but one day, God's going to see to it being that way. Anyway, y'all, I'm rambling on now, my bad. There's so much about Black history. I'm so passionate about so many things about Black history. And I hope that you can feel my passion to make sure that you pass these things on to your children. Y'all, it's important to make the world a better place. We have an obligation to make the world a better place. And the only way that you make the world a better place is to make sure that they're aware of where the world came from. Period. You know, everybody in the world understand, okay, well, you didn't do that. Your family may be wealthy and still well off from the, you know, from what happened 100 years ago. On a mass scale of how it was done, I mean, it probably should be, unless you done ran into a couple of fools along the line that didn't know how to manage it. However, everybody understand that you personally wasn't a part of what went on back there, but you can't change what your ancestors done, no matter that we can change what our ancestors have been through. Okay, y'all. All right. I'm finna go. I love y'all so much. I truly do, and I'm finna get up out of here. So I'm my new legion. Thank you guys so much for being here. I truly appreciate each and every one of you because you didn't have to be here. You could have chosen to be anywhere else in the world, but you chose to be right here with us, and we love you for it. So I'm Magnificent Legion. Round and round we go. Round and round we go. I love you guys so much, and I'm gonna see you guys next time, okay? Wait a minute, y'all. You guys look, always remember that there's always more than one way home. All you have to do is get there. So get there, people. Get there. I love you all. And we're going to see you guys next time. And if you're not going to watch me next time, you have lied to me. And I know you lied. Period. Bye-bye. Y'all, I got to go. Happy Black History Month. I get back to roots. Bye. Wait a minute, y'all.
Tony like and sharing. Tony like and sharing.
Your boy done switched up on you.
Tony like and sharing. Tony like and sharing.
I'm lying to me. And I know you lying. Period. Wait a minute, y'all. You guys look, if this is your very first time to this channel, run over there and subscribe for us. And after you subscribe, make sure you hit that notification bell beside the word subscribe so that you will be notified each and every time that we upload a video. And then welcome to this great family. Now that you're part of us, there's some things that we do. And we do them every day because they help us grow. Those things are comment like a share and go for the team. Comment like a share and go for the team. Comment like a share and don't forget to comment like a share. Comment like a share. Comment like a share. Don't forget to comment like a share. Comment like a share. Comment like a share. Don't forget to comment like a share. Okay, guys, check this out. We're going to pray. We're going to get into the goodness. Here we go. Hey, man, how y'all doing today? How y'all doing today? How y'all doing today? The pink salt, baby. You guys, over here to the side. Just Ben is here today. Just Ben came to see you. He has nothing in him but NICOLE H2O. But let's see if he's nice refreshing. He is. Also, over here to the side, I got my lips hot sauce. If you like your bottle, look where top subscription blue. Hit that link, and right there you get your lips hot sauce. And your lips merch. Okay, you guys, today for the food, baby. We have got some Kentucky Fried Chicken. We got that coleslaw, which Kentucky Fried Chicken has some of the best coleslaw in the world. And we have their potatoes and gravy. We got a few peppers around here. I got a jalapeno back here at the back. And here we have some chicken wings. So Wang Wednesday. Welcome to Wang Wednesday. So we've got 10 of them. These here are original chicken wings, but I have had them fried in an open fryer, but dipped in the original batter. That's how you have to order them if you want them like this. You go in the restaurant or in the drive-thru and tell them that you want original battered wings, but you want them cooked in the open fryer. That's what I have right here. They're so delicious. Okay, you guys, let's get to eating. Let's go. Let's get us some salt and some pepper in our mashed taters here. This is pink salt, y'all. So leave me alone. I'll put a little dab of salt and pepper over here on the slaw as well. Okay. All right. I love their KFC has some of the best coleslaw and mashed potatoes and gravy that you can find. They really do. That chicken wing. These here a little small today, but I know a lot of y'all, that's what y'all like, small wings. Okay, y'all. I've got to get right into the story. As I told y'all, I've been talking about a few days. Today, we have a Black History moment that, for me, you know, everybody have their own opinions about what has happened in history, in Black history, and what moment means the most to them. Obviously, all of them were important because they all, got us to where we are today. But we're going to be talking about Well, I'm going to be talking about a man named Josiah Henson, okay? And I'm going to tell you why this is so important. Here in just a minute. Y'all love my chicken going in my gravy and stuff. From KFC. On March 20th, 1952, there was a lady named Harriet Beecher Stowe who wrote a book called Uncle Tom's Cabin. Remember me telling you that over the years, because of the widespread smear campaign of the United States, we even today, as African American people, use the term Uncle Tom to be a, y'all, this food good, derogatory term toward other African Americans basically saying to be an Uncle Tom is a bootlicker. Somebody brown noses. Derogatory. But the story was not really written that way. Okay? And I'm going to tell you there's something, and the reason why I'm trying to let you know this because I need for you to let your children know this. And it's going to be information to a lot of you all. This book called Uncle Tom's Cabin was so important. You know, everybody knows about the Martin Luther Kings. They know about the Malcolm X's. They know about the Nelson Mandela and da-da-da-da and this and the third. You go on Rosa Parks, you go on down the list, you know about all of them. Everybody that know anything about, you know, Black history, they always know about these people. But I'm going to tell you something. This man that I'm about to talk to you about today, to me, even though a lot of people don't know about him, to me is by far the most influential person in Black history. His life did more for the advancement of Black people than any person known to man. To me. And you might say, well, Lips, I thought that was Thomas Douglas. I thought that was this person and that person. But let me give you my opinion. Go back and get on task. I'm trying to keep all this in chronological order. Josiah Henson was born June the 15th, 1789. He was born in a place called Charles County, Maryland. Okay? Mother slave, father slave. Father was owned by a slave owner by the last name of Newman. The mother was owned by a slave owner by the last name McPherson. Okay? Two slaves, two different plantations came together and had children. Right? Josiah Henson was the youngest of all his children. Okay? When Josiah Henson was about 3 years old, his father, a overseer on a plantation, took his mother and raped her. Which is nothing uncommon in them days. They did what they wanted to do. They were slaves. They were known as property. That's what happened. His father, however, from her screaming, ran through a field, saw what the overseer was doing to his wife. You know, dropped them beads on him, roughed him up. That characterizes it is that he beat him in the dirt. Done him pretty bad. After the wife pled for him to, you know, to stop, he finally did stop and he ran away. They quickly caught him. After they quickly caught him, they brought him back. All of the slaves from neighboring plantations were all brought to this property. And he was whipped. As the story goes, he was lashed by a local blacksmith 50 times. You know? Then they checked his pulse to make sure he was still alive or that he was going to survive. Lashed him 50 more times. Okay? After that, Josiah Henson at this time was only 3 years old. But this is his first memory in life. After that, the father was sold. Okay? When the father was sold, because Mr. McPherson, that owned his mother, was not this type of slaveholder, He didn't beat his slaves and stuff like that. He would no longer loan or rent Josiah Henson's mother out to the Mr. Newman that had done this cruel act to his father. Moving along, keep the story going. Around the time that Josiah Henson was 9 years old, Mr. McPherson dies. When he dies, true to form in these days, Mr. McPherson heirs deplete and sell off all his property, which included his slaves, which included, excuse me y'all, I'm sorry, I'm trying to go fast because there's a lot to cover. Sold off all his slaves, which meant that Josiah Henson and his family were all sold to different places. All his sisters and brothers, his mama, you know, he was the last to be sold. Where he was sold to a man that his way of making money off of slaves was to buy them while they were really young, before they hit puberty. Feed them, give them chores to do around the house for a few years. And once they come into their adolescence, now he can sell them as prime stock. That was what he done. So he bought Josiah away from his mother when he was 9 for $30. Okay? Now, because he was another barbaric slave owner, he didn't care nothing about his slave. Took Josiah, who was already sickly, threw him in a slave holding pen with another, let's say 30, 40 other slaves who were so overworked, so drained, underfed, you know, really just waiting to die, that nobody cared for the young man. Nobody cared for the little boy. Okay? So, he got sick, almost died. Okay, well, with that being said, I almost died, y'all. With that being said, now that he's away from his mom, now the man that bought him sold him back to the man that bought his mom for a bucket of horseshoes. That's just how much that they devalued a human soul at that time. He was sold back to the man that bought his mother for a bucket of horseshoes, y'all. You talking about being taught and learned, or being a learned thing that you mean nothing to nobody. Anyway, moving along. Josiah had great pride in himself. Great pride in himself. And everything that he done, even as a slave, he done these things to the best of his ability. He turned out to be the best worker that this man ever had. So much that he was so earnest that he called this particular man's, which his name was Isaac Riley. Okay? He called Isaac Riley's overseer stealing from him, and he reported it to Isaac Riley. And Isaac Riley fired the man. Well, Josiah, proving his honesty by this, because he could have been killed for telling on this overseer, you know what I mean? But because of his honesty and he was such a hard worker, he was the best worker on the plantation, Isaac Riley made him the overseer over the other slaves. Now, this, well, you may think, well, you know, but he took this very seriously and he was very proud of it. And he used him being the overseer to make sure that the slaves were fed properly, you know what I mean, and stuff like that. And they could, you know, their output would be better if they were fed right, you know, that type of thing. Worked out great. His accomplishments were so great that he was trusted to be going back and forth, what you would call like a marketer. He would take the produce and the things that were, the commodities that were made from the plantation, miles and miles and miles away from the plantation on his own, to market, to sell them. Now, he couldn't read, couldn't write, but he was determined enough to know what he was doing with those parts to be able to go there and do this efficiently. Okay? Now, to make a pause in the story, a quick detour. The reason why this man is so important is because his life was the basis of this lady, Harriet Beecher Stowe, to write this book in 1952, 12 years before the Civil War, called Uncle Tom's Cabin. President Lincoln, which we all know was a president that freed the slaves. You know, Emancipation Proclamation, We all know that. We ain't gotta go through that. He has accredited this book because when she wrote this book, her father was her family was a real prominent family. I think they were Presbyterian ministers and stuff like that. Real prominent family in society. So that kind of gave her license or notoriety to what she said would be true. So her white audience, she wrote this book, Uncle Tom's Cabin, as a depiction of how inhumane, humans can be toward other humans. President Lincoln has accredited her for her book to be the thing, because the book, when she wrote it, it spread like wildfire. I think they said in the first week, it sold like 10,000 copies. Within the first year, it had sold over 1 million copies. And at that time, it was the best-selling book that had, one step behind the Bible. That's how fast it went. You know what I mean? So, with that being said, President Lincoln has said that it was her book that stirred up all the commotion and got people thinking about what was really happening in America or around the world in slavery, that it is what caused the Civil War in the United States of America. Now you see why he's so important. What I'm going to tell you. This man's life inspired this lady so much to write this book. That is what the conversation that started to go on because of this book of how people were being treated is what sparked and made the United States go into the Civil War, which is what freed the slaves and started the ball rolling. Now back to where we were. When he was going to market, he was so good at what he done, and what happened is because the man trusted him so much and he was valuable, he done what he said, his word was good, he was hardworking, he was an overseer. Well, one of his jobs at that time was the plantation owner would go into town on the weekend and drink, get, wasted. Well, one of his jobs, because they would often fight and stuff in these taverns and stuff back then, one of his jobs was when this happened, first and foremost, if nothing happened, you get him home safe because he's intoxicated. But if not, they often fought. So one of his jobs was to make sure if there was a fight, was to get in there and get his plantation owner out safe and to the house. Now, that meant, because if he was in there arguing, excuse me y'all, I saw it, but we hit it forward. Well, his job would have to be, baby, he finna fall off this, look, Gucci, get down. Anyway, one of his jobs would be to go in there and kind of, if he had to, rough up the other white men in order to get his slave owner or his plantation owner back home safely. Okay? One of these times when he did this, it was one of the neighboring plantation owners to where Isaac Riley was. About a week went by, he was out doing some of his chores as an overseer, and this particular man that he had roughed up saw him, and he had 3 black men with him. He made Josiah get off the horse. Josiah comes down. They beat him. Josiah's holding his own. Like they ain't just, you know, on him because, you know, he's young. You know what I'm saying? He's doing his due, holding his own. But then the jealous or the mad, angry neighboring slave owner, plantation owner, he grabs a fence, like a post out of a fence, and start beating him. Broke his right arm. And once they got him down, he took the fence post and beat him so bad he broke both his collarbones, rushed him up real bad. Okay? The horse runs home without Josiah. When the horse runs home without Josiah, knows something's wrong, they go and find him. He's out of work like half a year. Can't do his duties. Okay? When he does start back to do his duties, he simply has a mule that he's trying to plow a field, and the friction from that breaks his collarbone again. He's out again. Okay? So, time goes by. His plantation owner gets into debt. He's facing financial ruin. So what he does is, he goes to Josiah that he knows he can depend on. He knows all this time he's been in Washington, D.C., all this time that he's been in the neighboring area. He's never run off. He had plenty of time, too, because he was in the place where there were free blacks, people that were against slavery. They could have just very well put him on a boat and shipped him out. But he never left. He was always loyal. So he trusted him. And since he was in debt, what they were going to do, to solve his debt, they were going to come in and they were going to take his slaves and sell them off to clear his debt. So, trying to run from that, what the slave owner done, Isaac Riley, he entrusted Josiah to take himself, his wife, and 18 other slaves 700 miles from Maryland to Kentucky. Okay? Now, along this route to Kentucky, they had to go to Ohio, which was a free state. Cincinnati, specifically, they had a large, free black population that would help them. So when he gets there, that's when he finds out, and the people start telling him, why are you taking these people that are enslaved? You have 20 lives in your hand. The only person that's back there on that plantation is your mom. But you have 20 lives in your hand right now, one being your wife. And you're taking them through a free state where they could just let them go. They'll all be free, you'll be free, your wife be free. Well, he didn't do that. He was a man of his word. He was a man of his word. So he went ahead and took the 18 slaves, his wife and himself, and went to Isaac Riley's brother, which was named Amos Riley, that had the biggest plantation in that county where they were going. He delivered them there, done like he was supposed to do it. Well, because Isaac had told Amos that he was such a good person and that he had these overseer qualities, he quickly became the overseer of Amos Riley's plantation. More responsibility, more wide range of what he would do. You know, that kind of stuff. Well, because he did so good, Amos Riley allowed him to become a minister. He allowed him to become a minister, and it was in the Methodist Church network, okay? Well, he quickly became good at it because he took pride in everything he did. Move, Gucci! Come on, boy! Baby! Come get him, please! He all up under my feet, y'all. He want to hear the story, too. So, anyway, y'all, it was in the Methodist church system. So, he goes back, and in this church system, from these people, knowing how good he was, they put the idea in his head. You know, you can make money from preaching. Why don't you try to buy your freedom? So he goes to the brother Amos, and he asks the brother Amos's permission to leave Kentucky, go back to Maryland to try to barter for his freedom from the original owner who still owned him, Isaac. He gives him the permission not only to go there, give him a pass with a seal on it, not only to go to Maryland, but to have free passage back to Kentucky because they trusted him. They fully trusted this man. Okay? So what he does is on his pathways of going from Kentucky back to Maryland, he preaches at all of these places down through there. And by the time he gets back to Maryland to negotiate for his freedom, he's made something like $275, close to $300. Well, Isaac Riley and him came to an agreement that he could buy his freedom for $450. That's what he had to pay to be free. Remember now, he can't read or write. So he goes, he sells his horse, he sells his clothes, and he comes back and he has $350. So between him, Isaac Riley, and Josiah Henson, they write a promissory note for the remaining $100 to say, okay, as long as you give me this $100, once you get this $100, you be free. But what Isaac Riley did was instead of putting $100 on the promissory note, he puts 1,000. He adds a zero on it. So now Josiah Henson makes his way back to his wife back in Kentucky, thinking he done paid $350 on his freedom. He got one more $100 to go. He's gonna be free. But when he gets there, he realizes because the wife has overheard the brother Amos Riley say that his buy price was $1,000, and he realizes that they have tricked him. Because he couldn't read or write, instead of putting $100 on the paper, he put 1,000, which meant that he was not going to be free. He was not going to be able to buy his freedom. Okay? So with that being said, he knows he's been tricked, this, that, and the third. He goes on to do what he got to do. Now, at this point, when he gets back, then word comes from back home where Isaac Riley is, and Isaac Riley tells his brother Amos, sell off all my slaves because I'm in financial ruin now. The only thing that I don't want you to do is do not sell Josiah and his family, okay? Do not sell Josiah and his family. Now, Josiah and his wife have 4 children between the ages 12 and 2, okay? But they're not going to be sold, okay? Now, when he went back down there to, when he got back down there to try to borrow for his freedom, he also found out his mother had passed. She had died while he was gone. So now he has no more ties down there. So now that he's back here in Kentucky, the overseer, once this news comes and he sells off everybody, all his property, except for his family, right? All right? So what happens is he tells Isaiah, okay, now, because you're so good with the produce, I'm going to send my son, Amos Jr., I'm going to send him to New Orleans to sell off the produce and stuff, the goods from the land that we've made throughout the crops and stuff like that, and I want you to go with him. Well, somewhere along the lines on the way down through there, Isaiah realizes, I said, yeah. Is that right? No, I'm sorry. I'm saying Isaiah. That's the property owner. Josiah realizes that, hold on a minute. When I get here, he's selling off all these goods and all this, and my owner's in financial ruin. When I get there, I'm probably going to be sold too. So he realized that before he get there. So on his way there, remember I told you in this book that she depicted him saving a little girl during this trip to New Orleans. Now this is where it comes from. When they got to New Orleans, Amos Jr. was going to sell him. But what happened was while they were there, Amos Jr. got sick, fell deadly sick with malaria. Okay? So what happens now, he needs Josiah to take care of him because he can't get back home. He's got malaria. So Josiah was going to kill him because he realized he was finna go into slavery. Josiah was going to kill him with an axe while he was sleeping on the way there. But now, going a little forward, they go to market, they sell the produce. Now he's next. Okay? They go to fatten him up, feeding him good, putting dye in his hair, this and the third to make him look more attractive, put him on new clothes. He's finna sell him. He goes to Amos Jr. He begs him not to sell him, and Amos Jr. just not going. He ain't going with him. Although he understood, he had compassion for him, he knew Josiah, but he was still going to do what he did told him to do. Fast forward a little bit. Okay, so what happens is he falls sick with malaria. Okay? Now, when he falls sick with malaria, during this time while he's there in New Orleans, which was the biggest slave trade in America at this time, what he does is he gets Amos Jr. to give him a pass, and he goes to see some of the friends that he himself had taken from Maryland to Kentucky. Now they're in the deep South, Louisiana, Mississippi, and he goes to see them. And he sees the harsh conditions that were far different from the ones that he was in, or where the barley and grain and stuff was being, the sugar cane and stuff like that was being produced mostly, to the cotton fields, to this type of place like this here. And it was dreadful. And he felt this great weight of, wow, this is what I delivered. The people that I grew up with, the people that I overseen, this is what I delivered. He saw the harsh truth of what happened in the deep South. So anyway, he goes back, and now back on task. Amos Jr. has malaria. So what he does is he puts him back on the boat. He treks him back up the river, all the way back to Kentucky to his father. And when he gets there, he realizes that, okay, now I done something good. Now I get my freedom. I owe over $100. You can talk to your brother, get me out of this mess, da-da-da-da. He's looking for his, I did good. I saved your son. Your son would have died without me. But that's not what happened. Amos Riley decided that because he had done so, that meant he had compassion for white people. So that meant he could be sold for even more. Well, it's at that point that Josiah Henson decided, just can't go. He went to his wife and told his wife, we got to get out of here. We have got to get out of here. We got to. Push come to shove. The wife didn't want to go. He had to plead with her to go. He basically told her, whether you go or not, I'm going to take the children and I'm going to leave. So what she does is she finally agrees. She makes a backpack for him. Because he's got to carry the 3-year-old and the 2-year-old, the 10 and 12, they can walk and run. But the 3-year-old and 2-year-old, they're not going to be able to do that. So she makes him a backpack so he can put the children in so he can carry them on his back. Now keep in mind now, both his collarbones have been broken. So he practices this for 2 weeks. Because of his job that he has to do anyway, he's away from the farm, extended amount of time. He decided he was going to leave on a Saturday. Sunday was a holiday, so they would be looking for him Saturday or Sunday. Monday and Tuesday, he was going to be away from the farm anyway, like far away anyway, so they would be looking for him Monday or Tuesday. So this is going to give him at least a 4-day head start, and they take out. They take out toward Canada, is what they do. Throughout this and that, they went through a few troubles here and there, hid in the bushes, went through thickets, this and that. He ended up on a port in Cincinnati. He works a little bit to get a little money, and he finally tells the captain of the boat there in Cincinnati what's going on. They tell him they're going to take him and his wife to Canada, okay? So that's what they ended up doing. They went and got his wife and his children, and they ended up transporting him to Canada, okay? Now, this is the thing. Once he got there, his work wasn't done. His work was still not done, y'all. He went back into the United States dozens of times, endangering his own life and helped free 118 slaves. 118 slaves. When he got to Canada, in Ontario, Canada, he helped build a 500-person free person community there. So when people did get out of America to freedom, they had somewhere to go. This man, his life story, he won the first, what was it called? Let me see. He won the first, the first medal. He won a medal at the first World Fair in London. Okay? He, what else did he do? The Prime Minister of England threw him a surprise party. This man was, throughout his life and what he done, his story really touched a lot of people. Queen Victoria invited him to the Windsor Council. And finally, Rutherford B. Hayes did entertain him at the White House eventually before he died. This man lived from, it was June the 15th, 1789 to May the 5th, 1883. But it's controversial with that part because some people say he died in 1879. But officially, they have that he is June 15th, 1789 through May the 5th, 1883. Okay, this was a great man. And the reason why I wanted to tell y'all that he's the most influential African-American to me, because this man and his story, his life and what he went through and how dedicated he was in such a, the person that he was he was the catalyst for Harriet Beecher to write this book called Uncle Tom's Cabin. And when she wrote it in 1852, what, 13 years before the finalization of the Emancipation Proclamation that freed the slaves and da-da-da-da-da. This book is what started people in the North and the South to talk. It started them to, one side felt this way and one side felt this way, and it was inhumane what they was doing all along. So this is what started the Civil War that actually gave black people in America who got them out of slavery. Y'all, like I said, there's a movie on Prime Videos and Freebie called Redeeming Uncle Tom. And maybe I didn't do it all chronologically, and maybe I didn't get it all to you like you need to know, but it's so exciting. It's called Redeeming Uncle Tom. If you go and watch that movie, most of what I just said, you'll hear it. You'll see it. You'll see chronologically how it went throughout Josiah Henson's life. Y'all, this was an incredible man. This was an incredible man. And I can't do nothing but say thank you. I can't do nothing but understand that the freedoms and the liberties that I have today, even though it may have been someone later on, it may have been, but we can't do anything but understand that this was the grandfather of us all having the liberties and the freedoms that we have today. It was his life that inspired this lady to write this book, Harriet Beecher Stowe, that inspired her to write this book, y'all, that started the Civil War. Now, if that ain't some black history for you, I don't know what is. His name was Josiah Henson. Look him up, dig into it, and understand how important this man was to not only black history, but American history. This man's life turned the tides and changed the way that the entire nation does things. Now, don't get me wrong, I never take nothing away from Martin Luther King, but he didn't do that. You see what I'm saying? Martin Luther King, they're all great men, and they done great things for us. They really, really did. But this man, Josiah Henson, this man was the actual one that his life, his integrity, his being of who he was the very one that sparked the debate for the Civil War to ever even be fought. Hey, thank you, Father. You know what I mean? So anyway, that's our Black History lesson for today, y'all. I'm so glad to have brought it to you. I hope that you guys have enjoyed it. I really, really do, because I know there's at least a few of you out there that had never even heard anything about Josiah Henson. He's the reason why you're looking at me today, the way that you are, with your own freedoms and liberties, and you never even heard his name. These are the type of people in Black history that I want to bring to you. These are the type of people in Black history whose names have been forgotten throughout history, because they weren't flashy like this one or flashy like that one. You know, they was way back yonder and but these are the people. These are the strength and the resilience and the faithfulness of these type people that allowed us to be free. I love you guys so much. I truly do, and I'm finna get up out of here, okay? I love you guys so much. So my new legion. Thank you guys so much for being here. We truly appreciate each and every one of you, because you didn't have to be here. You could have chose to be anywhere else in the world, but you chose to be right here with us, and we love you for it. So I'm existing legion. Round and round we go, round and round we go. I love you guys so much, and I'm gonna see you guys next time, okay? Wait a minute, y'all. You guys look. Always remember that there's always more than one way home. All you still have to do is get there. So get there, people. Get there. I love you all. And I'm going to see you guys next time. And if you're not to watch me next time, you have lied to me. And I know you lie. Period. Bye. Bye. Woo. Anyway, y'all. I am so happy that you guys were here to hear this. As you can see, it gets me so excited because, like I said, I'm sure that many of you all never even heard of the name Josiah Henson. I'm sure many of you all had never even heard of his name. And he is the true godfather of why we're free today. He really is. He is the true reason why we're here today. Also, with that same reflection, I wanted to shed light on that there are, because like I told you guys before, we as African Americans, we as Black people, we have certain prejudices and have had them over life, just as other people have as well. Can you imagine if it wasn't for the love of God that this white lady wrote this book? Can you imagine how much longer our ancestors would have been in bondage? Can you imagine? If she hadn't have cared enough, if God hadn't have pricked her soul enough to care enough about how inhumane people were being treated, how much longer our people could have been into bondage. Y'all, Black history is an amazing thing to dig into. It's an amazing thing to dig into. Make sure that your children understand it when they learn from other children that Uncle Tom is a bad thing, that Uncle Tom is a person that is a brown noser. Uncle Tom is a person that is known to be weak, feeble-minded. That's not where Uncle Tom really came. That's not where Uncle Tom came from. Uncle Tom was a proud man. He was a man that learned how to maneuver two different worlds and be successful in both. He was a man that had conviction, that had pride in what he done. He was a man that his word meant something. If he said it, he meant it. He was a man that not only got his own self and his own family to safety, came back dozens of times to collect others. He put himself on the line. He put his own freedom that he had worked so many years and worked so hard to gain. He put his own freedom on the line to come back and make others be free. I love Josiah Henson for all that he done for our race, for all that he done for Americans, period. Okay? So, I'm picking up out of here. I love you guys. I hope you have enjoyed. Bye-bye. Don't forget, the movie is on Prime or Freebie, and it's called Redeeming Uncle Tom. Go check it out. Go check it out. You'll see what I'm talking about, okay? I love you guys so much. I truly do. Bye-bye. Mwah.
I'm like a fairy.